Hello everybody, welcome to the Passiat Show. Welcome to the Passiat Show today. Today, we are talking about, that stuff is moving, we're talking about why you should not own a Walmart bike. This is what I have right here. This is about to drive me crazy. Sorry about that. This is about why you should not own a Walmart bike. Okay, so I got this in I believe December of 2014, and I haven't had it for an entire year without having a breakdown. And as of 2019, it has multiple things wrong with it. And because of that, I bought this one, $400, 2017 Raleigh Venture, which you guys have seen in my previous videos. One of the things you may see is that they are different. And this was from Walmart. And this is the Roadmaster Grand Peak 26. Yes, it was decent, but at the front they have these labels, kind of give you the emblem. And this one I've had since 2015, and I got this for my birthday one time. Please excuse it's dirty. I don't ride it anymore, and pretty much no one ever rides it, because it's why I'm making today's video about why you should not own a Walmart bike. Number one, the tires. Within a year, I have had tires break down. I have lost both tires within a year. They came with these tires, but they weren't fully, they weren't really covered like these tires are. And I'll talk about those tires in a moment. So then, I lost the back one, and so I had to get the back one replaced. Eventually I had to get the front one replaced. And it was pretty crazy, because this is not that old, and this is now pretty much about as worth as something that isn't very worth it. This is not worth that much, honestly. If you were to buy this thing, you probably have to pay like $1. Seriously, that's why this is so bad. And there's probably not that much that's pretty good about it. Honestly, there's not that much. And because of that, you have to get yourself a new bike, like what I had to do in 2017, because this one stopped working on me. So I got both replaced, and these tires, they are not made for rough terrain. The tires I have right here are on my current bike. This is the tires that are made for off-road terrain. This can't even go in the grass, honestly. This cannot even go in the grass without sliding like crazy, So, there's some things about it that make this not that great anymore. And it was good for a start. So another thing is I've lost both of my grips here. I have no grips. Absolutely no grips on here. And because I lost my grips, it kind of wears out your hand. And also another thing is this seat is extremely uncomfortable. And I'm gonna see this So this seat, it may look like it's made out of, what's it called, leather or something. I don't know what to call this. But it got a tear in it not that long ago. So this is not that comfortable. And it does hurt your butt for a while. It's not very comfortable. Another thing is that this is kind of weird. This really is weird. And the reason why I say that is because these handlebars are way up forward. You can't ride this that great. And then it's not really comfortable. It really is not comfortable. So if I were you, I would stay away from this. And another thing is the brakes. I had to get the brakes replaced, and the brake line kept coming off, and yeah, as you can see, you can barely move this, and the brakes are not even applied on it. So that's kind of a problem. But I had my grips on here, they wore away. But then also, I used to have a little high and low thing. When someone was changing my tire, they accidentally stepped on my little changer thingy for the high and low gear. That broke. Someone stepped on it, broke, and it was not even able to be used. So when the grip came off, I just took this all off, so there's nothing here. And as you can see, it's kind of not that cheap. It's cheap plastic. It honestly doesn't even look great. It really doesn't even look great. It's just cheap plastic. So that's the kind of reason why I don't like this. It really doesn't even have anything. Another thing is that it is rusted. It's rusted out. It has rusted a lot. And it's only been out in the rain a couple times, but it's rusted. It really has been completely rusted. And, you know, it's great. It was great, but it's just, this doesn't even feel great anymore. Another thing is I have to say is the crankshaft. The crankshaft, or the crank gear, I guess you can say, is extremely horrible. It was working great until I had a problem with the crankshaft, to where I was riding one day and I left my house not even a mile, and this thing broke down. The pedals were stuck, and I wasn't able to move the bike at all. So what I had to do was I had to get off of it and push it back. And also, another reason why I had to get my rear tire replaced is because down here, somewhere, this bolt right here, you guys cannot see it, but that bolt somehow wasn't tight enough, and it caused this tire to be leaned up against this pillar right here, and that is what was rubbing against it was rubbing, and it pretty much wore out my tire. I didn't notice until the last minute. And then one day, when I was about ready to go take off, how could you not? The tire just came right onto it. And I could not move the bike. It was stuck. So I had to pick it up, and plus this thing does not weigh that much. I can pretty much do that. But yeah, this honestly is not the greatest example. So what ended up happening was, you know, and also the pedal too. Like, the pedal is not as nice as that pedal. This is kind of some cheap pedal thing, and you have to wear shoes with it, because if you don't, these little side ends, they'll dig right into your feet. So that's why you do not want to ride without shoes. So, but yeah, that is my 2015, and it honestly sucks. I don't use it anymore. You know, when my cousins come and visit, I would usually let them use it, but honestly, this is not even safe, because the brakes aren't even working that great. So that's why I'm gonna have to get new. And plus, this is extremely dirty. I got to get cleaned up. But honestly, it just kind of sits. It doesn't do anything. And so this is why I had came along with this. Oh, and also, I'm also going to talk about suspension. Because, and the ride quality. The ride quality in this really was not that comfortable. It's extremely bumpy, and the seat doesn't bounce like what that seat does. So whenever you are riding in this and you go over like little road cracks or stuff, this thing would just do that, and it's probably not that comfortable, and it just doesn't work. Then one time I ran over a pine cone, and it literally felt like you got whiplash. I thought I hurt myself because what happened is I went over the thing and it did this. It like went over a pine cone and it nearly took me out. So that's why this is not good. The thing is that I've had this for 3 years, from 2015 to 2017. 3 years. And I also I can speak. I've also had this for 3 years. And this new bike, has lasted more than this. I've not had to replace one tire. I've not had to replace anything. The only thing I had to replace was my rear brakes because they were going out. Except I had to tighten them a couple times. But that's all. That's all they need to be replaced in just 3 years. And I have an average of like tons of miles on this. Like honestly, this honestly has a lot. This has a lot of mileage, and this has a lot of mileage. And this is still running perfectly. Well, I can't say perfectly. But the ride quality in this is actually nicer than that, because overall this is more expensive than that. This came from an actual official bike shop that I got this from. That came from Walmart. So if you get bikes from Walmart, Kmart, Target, wherever, it ain't gonna work out for you. And the reason why I say that is because this is the problem. It will not last for very long. And that's the reason why you do not want to get a Walmart bicycle or anywhere that doesn't have an official bike shop. Now some people may disagree. They'll be like, oh well Walmart bikes are better. Oh well, they're good. Good for you. Hope it lasts you a long time. I've not had to replace one tire. I've even gotten a staple in this tire and shards of glass, and I've never had to get my tire replaced. I've not had to get a tire replaced yet. So, if you get something cheap, it's not gonna last for long. If you get something more expensive, it lasts. As long as you take care of it. But yeah, the ride quality on this is very great. It's pretty quiet. It also kind of, I wouldn't really call it absorbing the bumps. It would kind of reflect it. So this does rattle. It does, and it gets pretty loud sometimes. But it doesn't. But it's not as bad as this is, because this seat, well, it doesn't really bounce, but since this is like on like a little like a lever type thing or whatever, I don't know what it's called, but it's like it like moves, but it doesn't do it now because I adjusted it differently. This is what will cause you to, bounce. This used to bounce and it squeaks too, but if you're able to get that properly adjusted, that's how it works. So it does rattle, and that's the sound you hear when, and I also got this rack too, so that kind of makes it loud. But overall, it's great. Oh, and also, before I forget, the kickstand. This kickstand is loose. It's not properly adjusted. It's loose. That one is not. And like I said, 3 years. I've had this for 3 years. It's my 3rd year having this thing. It's not broken down yet. So, like I said, you get some from Walmart, you know, it's not that great. You get, but, oh, someone's crying. But if you get a bike from an actual bike shop, you actually will have better performance than this. So, that is why you not want to own a Walmart bike. Because this has lasted me 3 years. 3 years. I've never had to replace a single thing. And also, the only issue I had is I had to wear gloves. I wear these gloves because your hand would kind of get burnt from, it kind of would like burn your hand like a brush burn. Because I don't know, maybe it's because of the hand and whatever. But yeah, it's pretty much comfortable. And you know, this also, as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but this does sit up higher than this one. This one is lower to the ground, and I have this seat adjusted up. And you know, I can pretty much touch the ground in this thing. In the old one. The new one, that's what it looks. So as you can see, you do have a better view, and you do kind of have a better view of the road. So like I said, cheap quality, cheap performance, etc. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.